This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined with one half of the main event on Saturday. We're in Bournemouth. It's sunny. I think it's probably one of my favourite fight weeks I've done. Nothing compared to July last year, but I'm delighted to be joined with Chris Billam-Smith. It's your destiny on Saturday night. We just had the press conference. How are things, mate?
Yeah, all good. Just a couple of days away now, just relaxing. The weight's all good. So just trying to save the energy for Saturday night.
How do you take all of this in, this weather and this, just being back home, after the sort of last two fights? How do you always take this in, where this compares to your fights elsewhere, where you probably ain't going to have as much people around, people sort of like family around? How does this sort of compare to you as the other ones, especially when you're fighting in Bournemouth?
Yeah, it's a lot different, much happier, but there's much more pressure, but much happier because the focus is there. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of when I boxed in Manchester, I might have sold 70 tickets or something like that, because it's like my mates aren't going to drive all the way up there, fans aren't going to travel all the way up there. We bring a show down here and the place sells out straight away. Do you know what I mean? So and now we're here at a stadium, so it's so different. It's so much more focused, so much more buzz for me. It just gets me bang up for the fights.
You just sort of talked about fighting in Manchester and everyone now coming out for you. Does it feel good that, I just said to you about off camera of Shane being with you for 7 years, that all the people that have come up with you sort of brung them up with you as well, and you look at the position that you are now, where you're headlining Bournemouth Stadium, a dream for you? Is that a special thing where being a man of the people that you bring everyone else up with you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't brought Shane and the McGuigans up with me. They definitely brought me up with them. Shane set a standard in the gym of world titles and world champions only, and that's the mindset everyone in the gym's got. Anyone who's ever come through the doors, whoever goes in there, that's the mindset of them all. And I'm just the next in line to become world champion. But yeah, I've got my good friend on the undercard, Lee Cutler, who's fighting Stanley Stannard. His coach was an amateur with me when I first boxed, and then become a coach later on. So yeah, it's great. The whole town's really got behind me, and it's not me doing anything for them. If anything, the town's done a lot for me. They've turned out and they've created this possibility of what is my dream.
Yeah, so what I meant by that is talking about Lee there, and I'm doing an interview with Mace Ruegg, and he's everyone's saying that you've brought South Coast boxing back to you brought boxing back to the South Coast. Having that responsibility and having that being able to achieve that for someone like you must be just such a special thing. Yeah.
I mean, I never really look at it like that, to be honest. I don't think, oh, look at me, I've brought all this to South Coast, all bow to me sort of thing. But no, it's great that people need opportunities. There hasn't ever been boxing opportunities down here. I've been fortunate enough to be given opportunities and opportunity to work with McGuigan's originally and build myself into given this opportunity, and now people are getting opportunities off the back of that. But once again, it comes down to having a fan base, and it's the fans that have done that. So they've all supported me really, really well. And without the fans, this sport is nothing. As we've seen before, even during COVID, it was a bleak time. We were lucky to get out, but it wasn't the same. And then fans come back, and the sport's lit up again. And so to have the fans I've got, how many there are, and the atmosphere they create is phenomenal.
It's special, like you talk about your story with Shane there, coming up with him, being those 7 years with him, sticking you sticking by each other. Do you know what I mean? I know you say Shane brought you up, but having that as well, where you both kept the faith in each other and you stick together and you work together, where if it pays off on Saturday night, you've got the ultimate goal. That must be a good story as well for either of you two, that you two are synonymous with each other in a way.
Yeah, for sure. I think when we win Saturday night, it will be a very special moment. I think, there will be a very strong embrace in the ring. Shane always picks me up, and it's going to be a special time in the changing rooms after.
was going to say another thing. Obviously, Lawrence came out talking about the sort of the mole in the camp, and Shane was sort of saying there that he was texting Adam Azim's old phone, and he was getting loads of texts from Lawrence coming through. And was that quite a funny thing to hear when you heard that and you saw all those sorts of things?
Yeah, a few things. I think Lawrence might have messaged Adam a couple of times. Someone said, and which is so maybe he's trying to get a mole, maybe he is scared. But like I said, if there is a mole and they're giving him information, they're either giving him the wrong information and he's happy, or they're giving him what's actually happening in the gym and he's scared. So we'll see.
Chris, thank you for your time, mate, and all the best on Saturday night. Thank you, mate.